Hey guys, welcome to a Meek at Night. Meek at Night. I'm coming here to talk to you about some downloads I got today, and it's just some observations that I have been paying attention to what's going on the interwebs, as well as the frequency of harvesting that's going on right now in your current paradigm. To call your attention to it, so you call your energy back. Okay. And then I might pull some cards. We're going to see, okay? Because I'm at my nighttime routine. I got my tea. I'm about to go to bed. But I did want to record this video, and I want to talk to you guys first up about friendship trauma. All right? I know that we oftentimes talk about what trauma looks like when it comes to parental relationships, what trauma looks like when it comes to romantic relationships. But what we don't really shed our light upon is friendship trauma. And I know you guys are all kind of hip to what's going on with B. Simone and her quote unquote friend. But be careful with that, right? Because these are the energy harvesters, right? We have the villain, and then we have the quote unquote victim, and then we have sturdy motion to get your energy getting, I guess, pulled to a part where this was a traumatic event in your life. Maybe someone who pretended to be your friend, but they didn't really have friendship energy. They were more in competition with you, right? There's a reason why these storylines exist, right? It's for you to now learn to have proper boundaries and better discernment when it comes to who you're allowing to share time, energy, and attention with. Okay, it's just a rites of passage in this thing called life. Okay, so try not to feed in too much of that entity, because there's a reason why all of this kind of media is being shown, especially in a place that it's already built for your distraction. All right, Instagram, Facebook, all these social media stuff is built to distract you from your best possible timeline, and we happily give it, because oftentimes we are looking for for places to escape. But not only that, we've also trained our brain to have dopamine fix, right? Through laughing at videos and then sending attachments and actually bonding with people that we know based off those attachments. It's all has been scheduled. Okay. So I do recommend taking a hiatus from social media. I'm going to actually try to do this as well. What's today? Today's Thursday. From now to Sunday, I'm not going to be on Instagram. I like YouTube because I play music there. I play background music in my day to day. I listen to readings. I listen to myself quite often as well on YouTube. So maybe another day I'll sacrifice that, but I'm going to sacrifice my social media from now until Sunday, just so I am honoring the things that I'm saying. And I'm taking my own advice as well, right? I'm just letting you guys be mindful of this. Okay. Once you start seeing a certain algorithm, really question why that algorithm is there. Right? It's just showing awareness. Don't get too caught up in that energy transfer, because these people are also working to harvest your energy. It's making you tired. Okay. Especially when it comes to drama. A lot of us have risen above the frequency of drama, because it's highly addictive, right? To put yourself in a constant state of stress, trauma, right? Getting worked up about who's right, who's wrong. And then you start really, as you ascend higher, you start realizing they're all part of the distraction. Okay. Before you give your energy into something, just how is this affecting your best possible timeline? Just say that. Okay. All the things from the past that you had to learn and ascend from, it was divinely orchestrated for a reason. Okay. Was that girl Pretty V made a video today, and she was a messenger. She came up, she's like, so what? That was her whole message, was so what? Yes, you got haters. Yes, you had people who did not treat you right the first time. Yes, you had friends who tried to align themselves with you just so that you while they're in secret competition with you. Yes, these things exist. Okay, and honestly, I know for the people who really be living in the empathy space, the heart space, we really don't be thinking about this stuff. Okay, we don't have this kind of vibration, so when we meet it, we're not really sure how to counteract it. Like, what happened? Aren't we friends? No, that person didn't want to be your friend. They just wanted to be around you. One, It could be because a boy that they liked you, and so they, attach themselves to your frequency. That has happened quite often in my life. Or they don't want you to like the same boy that they like. This is the kind of level some of these entities are on. Okay, very petty. Okay, some of these women they just don't, you could be well put together, and they could be, like I said, jealous of you, and so they want you close, like keep your enemies closer. Weird shit. Okay. We're all not forged in this kind of level of darkness. That's why it's weird when we come across it. It's just like, what weird energy is this? But we also have to remember that their life experiences shape them to be who they are. Okay. We don't take it personally. Just distance yourself. It's really that simple. Once you see who people are, whether it be a romantic relationship, a friendship, whether it be a job relationship, a workplace relationship, just remove yourself. It's really that simple. Okay? And allow the cards to lie where they lie. Okay? Another big thing came up to me is about not taking kindness for weakness. That's another thing in certain paradigms, people don't know what it means to be kind to one another. Okay? To show kindness to one another. And yes, is there people pleasing? That's oftentimes a lesson that you personally have to learn, is that you shouldn't people please. Okay? But not to minimize that there's some people who are just kind people. We're just kind people. And because of that, oftentimes people take that kindness for weakness. But once you start seeing remnants of that, like this person is taking my kindness for weakness, that's when you should call your energy back. Okay? They don't know how to have nice things. Okay? They don't know how to take care of their things. All right? They don't know how to cherish or how to value. All right? Because they're most likely not cherishing and valuing themselves. But there's no worries. You just call your energy back. It's that simple, right? I do recommend, guys, this is why everyone needs to heal, why everyone needs to find love within themselves. Because when you find love within yourselves, when someone is being kind to you, you would already know how to reciprocate that. Okay, and you wouldn't damage it. You wouldn't. Yeah, you wouldn't want to hurt that light. Okay. All right. Last thing I want to say, no, not really last thing, but one other thing I would like to say before I pause this and take a sip of my tea is that on this channel, I kind of uncovered this kind of definition of what evil is, right? And I've been saying it for the past couple of past couple of videos, which is, how does one treat something that is in a vulnerable state? That is to tell the contents of your soul and the contents of your heart. Okay? If something is vulnerable, in a vulnerable position to you, do you hurt it? Do you attack it? Right? This is what we're talking about, evil. What is evil? Something is dependent on you. Something may not have as much knowledge as you do. What do? You know what I'm saying? That is to tell the contents of your soul. Okay? That's really the weight of the heart space. Okay? Where you are on your soul journey. This is going to be a clear indicator. If someone doesn't have the same knowledge as you, do you take advantage of that person in any aspect? Okay? Whether it be a sexual advantage, whether it be I guess, monopolizing or capitalizing on their vulnerability. This is where you get into the realms of wickedness, right? And I know it's easy to justify certain things because you can just say, well, this was done to me, or this was done to me, so why can't I do it to them? That's not the right way to do about it. If you inflict harm onto somebody from the past, the best thing you can say is, I'm sorry, right? You seek forgiveness. This is why we forgive those who trespass, that we've trespassed, and we forgive those who've trespassed against us. Okay? But also cut back on your gluten intake. Okay? But yes, all right, this is why we say that prayer, right? Because even on our own journey, sometimes we whatever the case may be, we may hurt somebody else's feelings, and we just say sorry. It's that simple. And really mean it, right? When you gain certain understandings and your frontal part of your brain has fully developed, and you recognize the errors in your own ways and why certain things were not in alignment with your higher self, because you have a conscience. Okay, it's cool to be conscious about stuff. Okay, being aware, being empathetic to other people's feelings as well as your own. You don't have to be self-deprecating. Okay, you could be humble. Humbleness does not mean to be self-deprecating. It's to find the balance between self-awareness, between yourself and others. Humility. There's many, you don't know everything. We are connected, but we don't know everything, but we honor the truth within ourselves, and we don't dishonor our own protective barriers in order to satisfy others. Okay? It's really that simple. All right? Let me take a pause. But last thing before I take the pause, I'm going to say is the truth will never go out of style, and don't start believing your own bullshit. All right? The truth will never go out of style. All right? So I remember living in your heart space is a great strength, especially in a world that wants you to be stone cold. All right? I'm telling you, if you're able to transmute some evil shit that was done to you without actually turning into that beast itself, it comes with a great deal of power in both the light and the dark. Okay? So please, holding your consciousness firm in this world is a great power. It comes with great protection. Okay? It's easy to become temptation. It's easy to be, I'm telling you, it's real easy if you don't have a conscience. Okay? But that thing right there is worth more than gold. Okay? Being conscious. It's easy to let go and try to escape. Everyone's doing it. Everyone's doing it. Okay? It is more, there's more weight in you facing your reality and transmuting it. But what's best not only for yourself, but for others around you. Okay? Let me take a pause. Let me take a sip. That is some really good tea. Okay? We got some sea moss. We got some cassia lata. We got some valerian root. Some honey. Just a little bit. I've been honey crazy, but I love me some honey. But yeah, I just want to say that. Don't be caught down by friendship trauma, okay? The whole thing when it comes to women, I'm talking to my women, my females here right now. Do you remember the days when you could be with other girls and be vulnerable? Okay? And not have to worry about them attacking you, right? There's certain women who've adopted these patriarchal I wouldn't even call it masculine, because the real masculines I know don't treat each other like this in a weird competitive energy, right? You're able to be vulnerable in their presence, and they don't go and try to attack you for it, right? Because they don't like themselves, right? Some of us have certain lights inside of us that is just like, no, we haven't been corrupted, or we've healed from corruption. That's really it. But some people don't like to really see that part. You've healed from corruption, and because you have that light, and you are trying to extend kindness and help others, but their own darkness they wouldn't be able to appreciate you. It's just the truth, right? All right, so you don't, just forgive them and move on. It don't matter no more. You learned your lesson. Okay, so that's the whole point. Don't get caught up in the revisiting of certain trauma that this nonsense system is trying to bait you into, lure you back into with some energy. I remember when this girl did this to you. It all worked out. Spirit had been had your back. We just weren't paying attention. We were being so distracted that we weren't realizing that we've already been avenged. Right? We've already been avenged. And like, I think even during the avenging, you didn't even realize you were helping that person after they were getting their karma for what they were doing. Hindsight is always 2020. Okay? So if you're listening to me right now, okay, and you're a younger person coming up, or if you're listening to me right now and you are the person that I'm talking about, because I know some of y'all be lurking in the shadows, just watching and peeping. Okay? Just know this. Move forward positively in a positive direction. Make everything that you have gone through be a lesson to why it is important to move in balance and to move in the heart space and to treat people right the first time. That's really it. That's really it. Okay? We only go through this stuff, and yes, is it going to be chaotic? Yes. Is there going to be so many different personalities and people who are moving and from their own life experiences? Yes. But we could work it out. We could work it out through that contrast because none of this is that serious. No one lost a life. But if your intention was to take my life, there's a checks and balance for that. Okay? I'm gonna reference a TV show real quick. So if you are faint of heart, just exit the video now. Okay. There's this TV show called VMF. I think that's what it is. It's been a while since I've paid attention to it because after this episode, I just kind of stopped. I think it was like the first or second episode. Okay. There was a young guy, a young man in a community who was like the bully, right? He was like a bully and he wasn't doing what he was supposed to do. He wasn't listening. He was just like beating up people and all kind of crazy stuff. He was like the original villain, right? For the younger kids in the community, right? And they show him because he wasn't listening to anybody. He wasn't listening. He was like the biggest demon in that realm. Okay? Pay attention to what I'm saying. He was the biggest demon in that realm. Okay? Until one day he came across a bigger demon. Okay? And that particular demon raped him. Okay, and I'm not trying. This is not about fear, but I after watching that scene, my whole insides felt so gross. Okay, because it reminds me of how many times does your elders tell you to do a certain thing? If you don't do this certain thing, you're going to go down this certain route. Why do you think the elders are able to tell you that? Because they lived, they have knowledge, they have wisdom. So if they tell you stop hanging around these type of people, it's because they already seen something. You must listen with discernment and listen to people who actually care about you. Okay? But if you think you know everything, you're going to have to experience everything. And that's the part we don't understand is that you go through these traumatic experiences that you don't really have to if you just listen. How long we hear people when you go to school and learn, little black boy, show some concern. Little black boy, go to school. I remember hearing that song since I was a child to prioritize education and betterment for self. Right? Because what started happening, you start skylacking, and you even as an adult, I literally had to walk this walk as an adult, okay? Because I was just like, why am I doing all this? Why am I going to school? Why am I learning every day? Why can't I just chill and be with my friends? Because that is just one aspect of life. And when you shut down everything else to pour into that, you start going down a wayward path, and you start becoming, I guess, a victim to the bigger level demons on those different realms. Okay? You think you're the biggest and the baddest, is always a bigger and badder. What you do unto others comes back to you. Okay? So if you listen to some people come with the message and they deliver the message, and if you don't listen, like I said, bigger will come to let you know who don't hear does feel. Okay? And I'm not trying to put you in a fear paradigm. It's not about fear. It's about respect for the divine balance of the universe. Everyone has a main storyline, and there's nothing wrong with going little side quests every now and then. Okay, yes, keep things interesting. We're talking in video game talk, but you must get back to the main storyline at some point because your life was given with a purpose. You have people to meet, places to go. You have connections to make. Okay, you didn't come on here just to be la la la. Okay, as we mature, you have to mature, you have to grow. If you don't mature and you don't grow, you become obsolete. And yes, we're all going to die. That's what I'm talking about. I'm saying is that you have a divine plan, a divine purpose. Okay, use your breath divinely. Each one of our choices that we make form our reality. Okay, and you don't have to keep repeating different things in order to see. All right, you don't have to experience everything. There's already characters here for you to witness. Okay. I made this reference to one of my friends earlier today, and I was just like, I remember having a real illegitimate fear of becoming Whitney Houston. Okay, and I do like I used to like singing a lot when I was younger. I was in choir. I got learned a lot of solos when I was in school. But I never really put my time and energy and attention to it because honestly, because my family told me I wasn't that great, So I just kind of put it down. But I do enjoy doing it, and so I start doing it now just because what the hell? Why not? Right? I don't have to be a Beyonce or Whitney Houston, but I still enjoy exercising my vocal cords. Okay. My whole point is I used to have this irrational fear of being Whitney Houston, right? Falling in love with this guy. Then this guy lures me down a path of drugs. And then I become so MAGA, meaning skinny. MAGA is a word in Trinidad meaning skinny, right? In Trini slang, right? Actually, I'm not sure if it's an actual word. I'll look it up in the dictionary because a lot of words in Trinidadian slang are actual English words. But either way, real skinny, looking like a coked up head, and then all my dreams and aspirations are dead because of this quote unquote love that I have with this particular guy who did not mean me well, or else he would not be directing me down a path of destruction. Okay? I remember having this irrational fear of that. But it really wasn't a fear, it was more of a warning. Like, hey, Shamika, respect yourself. Okay? A lot of times our ancestors use fear in order for you to gain respect. It doesn't have to be that way, right? Because the respect could come out of love by saying, hey, I'm your titi. Hey, I'm your grandma. Hey, I'm your Gigi. Hey, I'm your mother. Hey, I'm your auntie. Hey, I'm your cousin. And I'm telling you the path that you're going down is going to lead to your own destruction. I'm telling you this out of love. Please respect that and respect yourself to make better decisions. Right? So love didn't work. So what happens now is fear. And the fear is actually coming from the love that we have for you too. We don't want you to go down this path. We don't want you to. Right? But now you're making us scared. And now the bigger people who we can't protect you from because you are gladly giving your power to them to operating on their realm of existence. Now they could come and do you anything. Because you're trying to escape from your reality and you're not taking your power. You're not holding the power that your divine breath holds. And you're attracting all of these other wayward, distracted souls who don't mean you well, who also want to just consume the light of God that's in you. Right? Because there are bigger demons. They have bigger demons on them. This is why hanging around with certain people in certain places, this is why. This is why. Have discernment. Okay, when your higher self is leading, you can never go wrong. That's why you need to make sure that voice is loud in your head. Okay? If you guys haven't noticed yet, when you're about to switch to a different paradigm, when there's about to be a split in realities, meaning that you've made a certain choice to go a different direction, okay? You're going to meet people who made the opposite choice. They're going to be you're going to see them. And you're going to literally see the split as this is why they chose this and you chose this. Okay? All right? Now, if you see that person and you start getting fear, you start getting anger, maybe you didn't make the correct choice for yourself. Okay? Because everyone's just going to represent different choices. Look around you. Look at the people in your circle right now. Right? Resonance never really lies. Okay? And there's particular alignments in the solar system, okay, that meet up those splits, those portal gates. You guys talk about portals all the time, right? The Lion's Gate this gate that, da 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 da. These are different splits of choices. This is why when you meet people, it's very important for you to realize what is the things that's keeping you in resonance, right? What are the things keeping you in resonance? And when those things are removed, is there a stronger resonance keeping you bonded? And is that foundation rooted in something great for your main storyline? Or is it distracting you from it? Okay? But a lot of us who come from, let's say you were drinking, you used to drink a lot, right? You have a set of group of friends who this is who you drink with, right? But let's say you change that up. Let's say your higher self is saying, hey, you need to let go of the drinks right now because we're opening direct portals that's supposed to help you ascend to a certain level of consciousness that's supposed to bring wealth It's supposed to bring your security, your financial and physical security. It's supposed to bring your land. It's supposed to bring your happiness, your love space, all the things that you really want to bring you in your fulfillment. So you need to sacrifice these things you need to sacrifice these things. Okay? So now you sacrifice the escapism stuff. You have to be present with your higher self too, because they're going to tell you, wake up now. They're going to tell you, move here. You got to go. You got to meet this person at this particular time, because this meeting of this person is going to then trigger a whole nother state of events. And you don't know what that stuff is. If you guys ever watched that movie, Everything Happening All at Once in every place, you know what I'm talking about. It's something like that, right? When they have to do random things at different times, right? They had to be present to be able to connect for that. Okay? And they had to be at a certain frequency level. Every time you intake something, it changes your frequency. Okay? So if you take high vibrational foods, things that have nutrients in it, you start automatically going into a certain frequency to catch certain thoughts, catch certain messages. All right? This is why your vessel has to be clean before you really try to be reading for people. Okay? And not to say that you won't read for people accurately, because there's a reason why there's a resonance. But once you cut out certain things, if you guys don't have a strong resonance besides the escapism stuff, it's going to be hard for you to connect. The portal starts closing. That reality starts collapsing on itself. This is when you start really maturing and growing. Okay? And it's I don't really like using the word selfish, because I think the reason why I don't like using the word selfish, because it always seems as if you are not paying attention to how what you're doing affects everybody else. But it automatically affects everybody else. But you should always be self-advocating for yourself. You got to come first. If you love yourself, you set up a resonance of love, your aura fields become stronger, and it automatically starts triggering certain things in people around you. Okay? Now, they can't be dependent on you. This is why it's important for them to be able to sustain their own resonance by their own practice when they're not around you. What are they doing? What are you doing? Right? Find the balance and then submit. Submit to your life, your higher self. Okay? So don't allow these people to come to you like, you got to submit to me, all that other bull crap. Bull crap. Submit to God. Everything else aligns, period. Okay? And I'm not talking about a man-made God. I'm not talking about the image of God or the illusion of God. I'm talking about when you are by yourself. I'm talking about you're even, let's say for the women in particularly, you're not even having sexual exchange with men. Why? Because you absorb their energy and you can hear them in your head. That's why you be going crazy on the low. For some of these dudes don't mean you well, but they're living in your temple. Right? Right. This is why the abstinence. Why is that? So you can hear your thoughts. What is your best possible timeline? And you start getting back into that flow without the distraction of man. What does Joshua Mampunga says? He says, if you cannot close your eyes and see your man with your eye, if you cannot see your man with your eyes closed, it's possible you are wasting your time with your eyes open, because this stuff is already written in the stars. I know we like to believe in, you go on tarot, you talk about flames and all this other stuff, but it's already written. You just have to align to it. And once you become that in tune, you can start really seeing, smelling, experiencing. And then it comes into your reality. You got to just pay attention. Okay? Pay attention to the shifts. Women are highly spiritual. Do stop giving your power away to these men. Stop giving your power away to anything external. Okay? Everything that you've created, you have made choices to align with that. All right? This is where the accountability truly comes from. All right? Trust your resonance. Trust your past decisions. It's not about condemnation. It's just about evolution. Okay? If you have children, you are meant to have those children. Those are the choices that were made. And this is now the bloodline. It's not over. It's not over until the credits roll. Shout out to Cosmic Paradox. Right? She had a message about that too. It's not over till it's over. Okay? Stop beating yourself about the past. Just have a positive moving forward, a conscious moving forward, because the consciousness is key to the maturity and for the accountability for future choices. Okay? Alignment just means that you are now aligning to a different paradigm based on the actions and the guidance of your higher self in your present moment. That's it. Okay? So, for example, I had an issue with procrastination, right? I'll cook and all this stuff and I'll sit down. I'm like, man, I got to wash the dishes. That happened to me today. And I literally said to myself, anytime you feel like this, just get up and do it. Don't even think about it. Just body, I want you to just be in the mode of just getting out and executing. Because it don't make sense whining about it. Just do it. Right? The only thing that be hit me up right now, yeah, and I'm just being transparent with you guys, divinely protected from the crown of my head to the soles of my feet, is the waking up. Because sometimes I'm not gonna lie to you, I be having these really good dreams, and then I'll be like, oh, it's relaxing. I don't have to worry about anything. That part feels so good. So like I said, God knows me, so I'm sure it's accounted for. But that's the only thing, right? Patience. Just have patience with yourself, guys. Okay? And call back your energy. Remember, I call back my energy from the north, south, east, and west, from the seen and unseen. I redirect that energy toward all things towards my best possible timeline and destiny fulfillment on my main storyline. That was a mouthful, but make a rendition of that. Say that every time you feel like the past is lurking in the background. Be like, can we come back? Just relax. No. You have to be in alignment with my presence. Okay? And none of that fake stuff. Okay? Y'all really got to keep focused. Keep focused. Okay? Because that's where the freedom is, really. All right. Let me take a sip. I think that's it, though. All right. So let me just do this one thing. I'm going to do one. I know. So I'm going to pull some cards just real quick. Just for funsies. I'm using the Divinations, the Energy Readers Oracle deck. This is a deck that I created. If you guys would like me to purchase, hit me up. I know I gotta keep saying there's gonna be a delay though, but just hit me up if you're interested. All right. Any messages for those coming? Thank you. All right. Oh, all right. So we have congratulations. On the bottom of the deck, we also have my ego is balanced. Okay, my ego is balanced. All right. Then we also have Capricorn energy, and if you guys are familiar with Capricorn energy, this is Saturn, and they don't play in the traditional tarot. This is also the Devil card in the traditional tarot, which represents temptation. And the reason why temptation comes up is because of karma. Okay, make sure you're in love. Love yourself. Okay, if love is in your heart, temptations can't get you. Right? Lower level frequency. All right. Lust, greed, anger, all these lower level frequencies don't know what it really is to be in love, to be at peace, and to love that. Okay. That is a whole nother vibration frequency. Okay. But temptation will bring you right back down to these lower level nonsense. Okay. I am hearing that some of you guys have ascended, and that's why they're congratulating. Congratulations to you on your victory. Okay, so Capricorn energy, boss up or be gone, not be gone. Boss up or be gone. Now is the time to put the procedure into practice. This work hard, play hard energy is what the world needs to materialize physical success. This energy does not allow mental or emotional issues to stop financial progress. No excuses, just results. In the positive polarity, utilize this energy toward anything that you are passionate about. You are destined to be successful. This is getting off the wheel of karma and focusing your time and energy and everything that you need to be successful. Okay? In the negative polarity, there is a tendency to ignore emotional cues for psychological growth when this energy is present. Working hard is beneficial, but not as a method to avoid emotional intelligence and healing. My ego is balanced. Okay? It's a balancing act. Okay. You need to put a little bit of time and attention on things that must be done. You have to put time and attention on the spiritual body. You have to put time and attention on the physical body, like you're working out. You got to put a time and attention on learning something new. Break up your days this way. This is really the balance. This is divine intelligence. Okay. shout out to Joshua Mapunga. He talks about all this as well. He gives this advice to the ones coming up. All right. I love him on the low. And when I say love, I don't mean it in a lustful way. I mean it. So respect to his wife. I mean, like, I love the frequency of men like this. Okay. Knowledgeable. Okay. Honorable. Okay. And no, I don't agree with the polygamy stuff. Okay. I know he oftentimes puts that in his sermons, but it's none of my business. But I just want to make sure I don't support that part of the conversation. All right. But either way, my ego is balanced. Okay. Balance out what you're spending your time, energy, and attention on. And none of that stuff should be about the past stuff. None of it. Okay. None of it. All right. Because then Saturn's going to just spin the block on you. All right. And he's going to be like, oh, you didn't learn your lesson? All right, bet. I got you this time. Like I said, bigger demons, bigger will come. Bigger will come. You don't have to wait to get effed in the butt like that boy who wasn't listening, who wanted to be a bully and wanted to live this life and whatever. All right? You don't got to wait for that situation. Just try your best. Okay? To listen, integrate, learn, and grow. Good night.